Welcome to Keeping It Real with your hosts, Meryl Coven and Veronica Brandon Miller. Hi, I'm Veronica.
And I'm Meryl.
And this is Keeping It Real
In real estate.
Today we want to talk about old Florida. A lot of people, when they picture Florida, they picture these bungalows. And yes, when they come down, you see a lot of new high-rises and new construction, but there is such a gem still in Sarasota and Bradenton, Manatee counties too. But I want to talk about your neighborhood because I love it. It's eclectic, it's unique, but it gives the old Florida charm.
It does. I live actually in an area called Philippi Creek. So obviously Philippi Creek is a body of water, and there are neighborhoods all around it, which is where I live. My house was built in the 70s, but a lot of the homes in my area were built in the 50s and the 60s. A lot of wooden structures, a lot of big front patios, large lots of land. It's a very popular area because there's very few areas in Sarasota that still have big giant pieces of green grass just a few miles off of Siesta Beach. I love it there. I'm not a deed restricted girl. I do not want to live in a deed restricted community. Pros and cons, like as in everything else in life, there's pros and cons to everything. My neighbors can park their RVs, their trucks, their everything right on their front lawn if they want, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, during the pandemic, Cousin Eddie moved into the driveway next door, and that was sort of hard to look at for 2 years. But in a deed-restricted community, of course, that does not happen. In old Florida, that happens everywhere. So there's pros and cons to it. I personally love it, but it's very charming and it's very unique. You have a lot of different kinds of personalities. A lot of these homes also, they get bought and then demoed, and you might have, I don't know if I would call them really bungalows, but just sort of like an old Florida home, and then something beautiful and new.
McMansion.
And that's kind of hard to digest, and that's happening a lot. But in my immediate area, that really wouldn't fit, so that's not really happening so much. But there is still a lot of people, when I am showing homes, that do not want the cookie cutter neighborhoods. Not all the neighborhoods in Florida have to be cookie cutter. Not everything has to look the same and be one of four colors. Not every house is going to be where you can knock on your neighbor's window to pass them some sugar or anything like that. I have almost a half an acre of land, and you can't even see into my neighbor. And I have a very small house on a giant piece of grass in old Florida. It's a fantastic area. I would love to show people around the Philippi Creek area.
Oh, and what I love about your area, and very jealous, huge backyards.
Yes.
So if you have a dog, and you're like, or dogs, then I love you if you have more than one. So,
well, and at the end of the day, let's keep it real. It's also less expensive to live in these neighborhoods. Okay, if you are going to buy a McMansion, is a McMansion, it's going to be priced accordingly. But in my neighborhood, our homes in my area are anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000. So it is still a very affordable place to live with land. You are going to have to do some work. These are homes that were built in the 70s, 50s, 60s, 70s. So you are going to get a home in the 3 to 4 range, but you are going to have to do a little bit of updating and a little bit of work to it.
Yes,
but it's
unless they refurbished it. But
yes,
but it's great. It's so close to Siesta Key.
Very centrally located.
Very centrally located. Great shops, great restaurants. So you can just stay at home, or it's still walkable.
Well, the Gulf Gate. I personally think that Gulf Gate is one of the biggest hidden secrets of Sarasota.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even want to say it out loud too much. Oh, here I am saying it out loud for YouTube. But if you have not gone to Gulf Gate, if you're new to Sarasota, if you come to visit Sarasota and you have not driven Gulf Gate Drive, Gateway Drive, and Superior Avenue, you are missing out. We have some fantastic restaurants. A lot of new things have come in. We have apothecaries, we have Asian markets, we have a fashion school, but the thrift shops, the bars, the everything. Gulfgate is a hidden treasure in Sarasota that a lot of people don't know about. And usually when they do discover it, they're happy they've discovered it and a little pissed that it's taken them so long.
Oh yeah, I mean they have. If you're into the pub crawling,
Yes.
we did that for St. Patty's Day once in Gulfgate, and it's great.
That's the perfect place to do it.
It is the perfect place because it's walkable and you can just go right to the next place, but also very unique. German restaurants, vegetarian restaurants.
There's a new Turkish restaurant that is to die for.
Oh, I love Turkish
Yep,
food.
it's wonderful.
Can't deal with the coffee so much, but everything else I love. So yeah, when you're looking at a neighborhood, trust us because I've been here 17 years.
I've been here 24 years.
Wow.
I've lived in my house for 24 years. I can't even believe it.
That is
I never
great.
thought I would live there for more than 10 years. Now I think I'll die in this house.
Well, you've upgraded it amazingly. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And true upgrades.
Yes. Real upgrades.
Real upgrades. A lot of times people think it's an upgrade. It's not an upgrade. So yes, absolutely beautiful. If you're looking for bigger lots and saving more dollars, that area is great. But again, as we talk about it, it might just go straight up like, all the other neighborhoods in Lakewood Ranch. We talk about Lakewood Ranch. It's consumed. But this is truly a hidden gem. So if you're ready to buy, definitely.
Well, and if you're, again, not to beat it up, but if you are thinking, a lot of people, think that Sarasota, you can't afford Sarasota. It's at least $500,000 as a minimum. It's not true. I am a neighborhood specialist for 34231, which is the Philippi Creek, Riverview High School area. And I will help you find that house that's in the 350, 400 range. Again, you may have a little bit of work to do to it, but we will find it. So don't hesitate to reach out to me if I can help you with that area.
Well, I love your area.
I love my area.
I wish I knew about that area when I first moved here, but you rely on your realtor, and they were pushing us to Lakewood Ranch. Oh, brand new community, because it was new, it was sparkly, let's go. And we moved there until we read the newspaper and said, they're building a mall. And I'm like, oh, no, I cannot deal with that kind of traffic, so that's why we moved. But a lot of people enjoy that. They want to be, so where you're walkable to things. I'm not walkable to anything, nothing, which that's what I wanted. And
I could walk to stores, and I could walk to the grocery store, I could walk for ice cream, I could walk for a lot of things, and I love that, and I do.
Right, it's your personality, so whatever your personality is, and you have a vision, and we can check off those boxes and help you find that house, or let's say it's not available right now, we'll do the research. And I've even done this. A friend of mine loved this neighborhood so much. I sold one of the rentals, and she came in, and we developed this great friendship, and she goes, I want to move here. I sent out postcards to everybody. I just sent it out, and the next door neighbor that I sold that to, she called me and she goes, I was going to talk to you that day, but if you have someone in mind, the universe came together. It was great.
Yep.
And she was able to buy that house.
That's perfect. I just sold the house right across the street from me to a very dear friend of mine. My neighbors were there for 23 years, and I was really, really sad to see them go. But the minute they told me that I needed to sell their home, I put the perfect buyer in that house. And she actually just told me a couple of days ago that, almost with tears in her eyes, she is so happy. She didn't even realize that she would love it as much. She loves it. It's so quiet, so peaceful. She loves her gigantic yard. She's planting things for the first time. She's a first-time home buyer at 40. So she's gardening. She's doing all this. So she was asking me when, what the right time is to start planting everything, because she had the house came with a bunch of risen garden boxes. So she wants to know how to do this. She's going to start teaching her nephews how to garden and everything, so she's just thrilled. And she had no idea, because she's never bought a home before. She just didn't realize how much she was going to love it. And it's what a heartwarming and satisfying sale that is. I get a beautiful new neighbor, and she is over the moon, and that's why we do what we do.
We want happy clients.
Well, that's why we do what we do.
Happy people, when they're happy, they refer us, and we love that.
Yes.
Because our purpose in life is to really help you find the perfect home to fit your lifestyle. Now it's title time with Cynthia Rydell from Rydell Law Group.
How to ensure a smooth closing process. The closing process begins once you've actually signed and executed the contract and the closing agent receives the contract. From that point, the closing process begins, and the closing agent will reach out to the buyer and seller and typically gather information they need to process the file. So it's very important that when the closing agent reaches out to the buyer or seller, that the seller gather the information and return it to the closing agent timely. If a buyer is obtaining a loan, again, the buyer needs to make sure the closing agent coordinates with their lender and that the buyer, again, is gathering the information that the lender may need in order to ensure there's no delays with the process of their loan.
And now it's time for Larry Vanetta with Guaranteed Rate Affinity.
Hi everyone, this is Larry Vanetta from Guaranteed Rate Affinity. Coming to you with the Mortgage Minute. Talk about what's going on in the current market and what we can do to maybe help a seller sell a home or a buyer buy a home or both. These days the interest rates are rising a little bit. You've probably heard that. The 30-year fixed rate loan is probably running in the high sevens. So it's impacting the affordability for a lot of home buyers. Should I buy now? Should I wait? And a lot of that going on. So just wanted to give you a couple of ideas if you are a prospective buyer or seller, ways to market your home and entice or make it a lot more attractive for some buyers buying that want to buy right now. The biggest thing, I think, if I were a seller and trying to sell a home right now, is a lender or seller credit toward the buyer's closing costs, prepaids, or buy-down fees. You may not know what a buy-down fee is, but it's a loan program where the seller can contribute money to a buyer to help with their closing costs and also to buy their interest rate down. So if the interest rate's 7 3/4 right now, for example, the buy down would allow the buyer to have an interest rate of 5 3/4 in the first year, 6 3/4 the second, 7 3/4 for the life of the loan. Maybe look at down the road refinancing that if they get the opportunity to lower that interest rate. So it helps them get into a home now at a little bit lower payment. Makes it a little bit easier their first or second year, and then fingers crossed they'll have an opportunity to refinance somewhere in the near future.
Again,
So don't hesitate to reach out to us if there's anything we can do to be helpful to you.
absolutely. And trust us. Trust us. We know this community, and whatever really you're thinking of.
What I'm going to say when you say trust us, it just makes me think, because I'm sort of a stickler on this. Google us.
Right.
Read about us.
Yes.
We are both very, very, very findable on the internet. So please, I encourage you to please Google either of us, read our reviews, see who we are, what we do in our community, and create your own opinion of who we might be to work with.
Perfect.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, have a great day.
Have a beautiful day.
Bye-bye.